this is Inger from Tarot Wikipedia. I'm doing another free tarot webinar. I've been in the forest all day in the national park. I walked all the way down to the to the waterfall, to see it for myself, and then it took me back up again, and there were several other waterfalls there as well, so it's been quite a journey. And I'm in Australia, so it's like Australian animals everywhere. You can sense them, you can't always see them. To see them, you have to kind of be still and just sit down and watch and wait. And as I was walking, I walked past a man who'd been sitting there for a while, and he was he was telling this couple how many snakes he'd been seeing that day. So I'm glad I didn't see any snakes, but I actually do love snakes. But today I just wanted to walk and not deal with snakes. But no, this has just been a beautiful journey, and snakes, like when I lived in Perth, there was a program actually on TV. It's called Deadly 60 with Steve. Can't remember his last name, but he did a program in Perth, in the suburb where I was living, Osborne Park. Well, I lived in the suburb next to Osborne Park, and basically they just walked and pulled out tiger snakes from the bush, just where walk past. So there snakes in Australia, they're probably all around us, but they're so good at hiding, so you can't see them. And so therefore they're not a threat either. But I just thought that was a bit interesting. So when I was walking today, I asked to just, ask the creator, just keep the snakes away from me, please. And one day I'll come here and I'll just sit and watch, and then I'll be ready to see a snake, but not today. So I asked nature, because when you're in the forest, you just, you feel nature. I asked nature, what would you like me to talk about today? And I was told to just say one thing, and that's for all the people that live in cities. And maybe they feel disconnected. And when you feel disconnected, there's an exercise you can do to feel connected again. So basically I show you the exercise. You just do this with your hands. So this is just to practice feeling your own energy. Now I teach this also when you want to know that you're connected to the creator of all, because when you're connected to the creator of all, you feel your own energy really strongly. And also it's easier to feel energy. There's lots of bush turkeys walking around here. So then, even if you're in a city, there are trees in the cities as well. So just stand in front of a tree, and so you feel your own energy, and then you just do with the hand you're writing with your dominant hand. You can just do like this, and then you feel the energy of the tree. And you can do that to plants as well, and a very subtle energy. So it teaches you to, quiet your mind and feel subtle energy. Also, if you want to feel the energy of your angels, you can ask the angels to just stand in front of you so you can feel their energy. Also, there's another exercise that will help you with the angels, and that actually is to stretch out your arm, and the yoga one, when you go like that, and you do it several times, and then there is actually, when there is like an angel next to you, you just do it a few times, and usually then you just feel the energy of your angel, like really strongly. I've done it a few times, and the first time it really freaked me out. But that's just the energy of the angel, and you can feel that with with the right hand, for me, because that's the hand I write with. Now also with loved ones like ancestors and stuff, and pets and stuff that's crossed over, you can ask them to just stand in front of you, and you can feel their energy. And then you recognize their energy. Also with pets that still is in your life, you can do that. So just practice feeling their energy, because sometimes you're while you're at work and things like that, pets are very good at actually moving their energy field and be with you during the day, even though that's just my experience anyway, that they're very quite good at. There must be that remote viewing you or something like that, and you can actually feel them with you while you're working and things like that. So I'm going to just get straight into some questions. Then I'm going to talk a little bit more about some other things, about the court cards at the end. So Henry, you asked about past, present and future, and then I don't think you wrote what the past card was, but present card King of Cups and future card Two of Wands. They connect beautifully, even though it's just two cards there. You have a court card with cups, with King of Cups, and then you have the number 2. So then you have like everything that you need, because 2 is about love, cups, that's love, and then when you have all the elements of love, you want to look for court cards, because that's like the people to love. So King of Cups, that's like a friendship, falling in love with a friend. And then Two of Wands, that can be like, you're seeing this person with new eyes, basically. So they're just saying that there is possibly a future relationship there with a friend, someone it's like rediscovering somebody. Sandra, you wrote to me about a love attraction, and the bottom card was King of Cups, so that's that card again. So that straight away speaks of friendships. First card was Seven of Swords, second card was the Hierophant, and the third card was Six of Pentacles. So in the way I read the cards, I look for where if the cards are making, like, if they complete an arrow, and for certain card groups want to connect with other card groups, because that's where they feel really comfortable. So for example, like I said, with the number 2, loves cups and loves court cards. So with your cards, then all of your cards that you got, they all want different things. So because they all want different things, they kind of pulled in different directions. So what that can mean is that as you have a very strong potential for friendship, the timing might be a bit not perfect for you to have like a love relationship. It's just like a timing, and maybe you're meant to be with somebody else, they're saying. Also, there was a lady that wrote to me on my website, and she had this card combination, and this is, I'll explain as with this one as well. Justice, Wheel of Fortune, the Sun, Two of Cups, Nine of Cups, Strength, and Fool. So you have, Justice is 2, Two of Cups is 2, Nine of Cups, you got the cups. So you got the 2 repeating itself with cups. So that's like wanting that arrow to be completed, but then there's no court cards. So when you get a combination like that, when there's a lot of things going on, a lot of energy, but there's no people, then that usually means that those people are just not coming, they're not there yet. So it's like a bit of a in-between, and things are being put in place for those people to be able to come in. But the cards are also telling the seeker that they need to put a call out. Do you want a soulmate, for example? Put a call out to the soulmate. Or if they're in a relationship, focus on that person. Maybe focusing away from the relationship. If they want more soul family, put a call out to your soul family, because we are creating our lives, like we are some things are set in stone, but even those phases in our life that are sort of written for us, we're also meant to co-create them as well, because we're meant to, there's variations of that as well, that we're actually allowed to, we're allowed to create within that as well. So there's certain meetings of events and people that are sort of destined to happen. But a lot of our times, because we're here to learn and grow, we have to be co-creators with the Creator. So whatever you need in your heart, you're meant to manifest that. So the number 2 is always showing up to tell you, about, maybe you need more love in your life, more love connection, and you're ready then as well if there is a lot of 2 showing up. Now, if you get the number 2 repeating itself and you have the court cards, but you don't have cups, then that can mean that you want the love, you have the people to love, but maybe for whatever reason you're unable to feel the love. And that can just be like being, very cerebral, or maybe just not relaxing enough, not going into the subconscious enough, not listening to the heart enough. And that could be like conditioning from childhood, or that can be whatever reason, but that's what then the seeker is working on. So that's where they're growing. So with the court cards, the way I see it with the court cards, like I have had no court cards showing up in, like when you're doing like your next year, and we have had, before I moved to Perth in 2012, I did my layout of the cards and no court cards showed up for like the year. And you know, obviously I was going to meet people and everything, and I met a lot of people, but I had very little soul family connection. There was no one there that I really cared about. So not deeply, not the way you do when there's soul family. And I always felt a bit anxious about the people that was in my life as well. So that can be a sign then that they're not really your soul family. So there might be other reasons why they're in your life, but usually then you can be with them and you feel that you're not really with anybody, like you feel alone, even when there are lots of people around. Now with the court cards, always pay attention to them. Pages, for example, if you get a lot of pages, then that's, you know, enthusiastic energy, and they're often the glue of a situation because they're so enthusiastic. And sometimes if you're enthusiastic about something, that's like problem solved. Like you can get through anything if you're enthusiastic. You can learn anything. That's like the glue that everything can stick to make the wheel turn around. So in like the workplace, for example, the pages then becomes kind of the reason why you're there, why you're doing what you're doing, and especially Page of Swords. That just means that there's someone that is so talented and good at what they're doing, and they're so involved, and they do it often free from getting much reward at all. They might get some reward, but not a lot. They're just sort of behind the scenes, making everything sort of work for everybody else. So it makes it easier for everybody else to be involved and do their job. And they often do it so well that people don't even notice that they're doing it. So it's like, can be a bit unrecognized work. The knights, they are the doers, and when the knights are showing up in your reading, then there's always an opportunity for change, to create change. So if you want change, for example, maybe you want to move, and you know, if you want to move, look for Knight of Pentacles. That's a sign that you'll be moving. If you want to move far away, if you want to, like what I did, I wanted to move to the opposite side of the world. I went from Norway to Australia. Look for Knight of Wands. You know, that's you taking off. If you want change in your routine, pretty much changing in your total sort of belief system and everything that you're doing, look for Knight of Swords. If you want change in sort of within yourself, in your spirituality and in your soul, look for Knight of Cups. Knight of Cups is someone who's very eager to love you and care for you and nurture you. So that's like friendships that are very giving, and they always bring with them a lot of gifts. Now the queens are when you feel really safe within yourself, when you feel connected, when you feel like you can just be where you are, living your life, and you're happy. Also the queens are very good at coordinating things and creating stability. You know, that's what they want. Queens want the stability, and they have the intuition and the inner strength to have that. So when you have a lot of queens, you know, you look for pentacles, because then they have a lot to create with, and see how committed they are as well. Look how committed they are, and the commitment you can see in the number 4. So then you kind of have all the elements, and then when you have all the elements to create, then usually there is like an increase in living situation. There's a bush turkey next to me who's making a nest. So I keep thinking it's a person. Okay, the kings. The kings are they are the authority figures, the leaders. So we need leaders. We need leaders to have stability. So when there's good leadership, you have a huge opportunity to create success. So kings, they show up when, you know, you have an opportunity to have a lot of success because there is leadership and authority. Now you might be that person who has to be the authority. Or there's someone else doing it and they're creating the sort of the environment for you then to have. But kings normally show up to show you where it can be, something can be very successful, but you need to want success too. You need to have a bit of ambition. So when kings are showing up, they're triggering your ambition to be more, you're here to achieve something. So what will make you happy to achieve? Because when we are achieving, we actually have a lot of self-fulfillment and quality of life. I also want to give you guys a reading, so whoever's been watching, I'm going to pull a card for you. So when you see this is a perfect time for you to see this. Because we're working with law of synchronicity. Bottom card is Temperance, so this is a message from your guardian angel. We were just talking about the pages. Page of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles are the doers, okay? They are the ones that likes to be active and doing something all the time. So when you get this card, they will just want you to, because you're so busy doing something, very practical. And sometimes working smarter rather than harder. This one is more like working harder, not smarter. They're saying, are you working smart? Because you can actually create a lot of jobs for yourself unnecessarily as well. I'm pulling because I like to do. So they're saying the reason why you're working hard is to create abundance for yourself, for your future, basically. So they're all pentacles. So pentacles wants, that's being in a good routine. Being in a good routine that's set and that you're committed to. Now, remember how I said before, it means you're committed. So you're committed to something. Now they're saying you might feel a bit insecure about your work. So you might be working really hard to show everybody how much you're working so that you can have abundance. But they're saying find out a way to have that security within yourself so that you don't wear yourself out in the process. Because there's a way of doing things. And remember, Temperance, it's like a guardian angel, but this card too, it's about moderation. It's about you're supposed to last for a while. Like a marathon always lasts longer than a sprint. So this is for your long-term future, where you're working now. If you love your job, if you love what you're doing, and if you feel like you're on the right path and you want to do it for a long time, then find a way of doing it that is also sustainable for you. Because you might be working too intensely, basically they're saying, too intense, and that you keep the joy in your work, and without feeling that you have to be the one doing everything and doing everybody's job for them. Because then that can basically just be you're wearing yourself out. Also they're saying that you're almost ready to expand in your living situation, almost. So whoever is watching this, soon you'll be expanding in your own living situation. And that could be investing in something or doing something that will bring future abundance. It's something you're going to invest in, either property or something in your career, in your education. You invest in something that will bring you an expansion, that will again bring you more abundance. It could be in business, for example. So it's like thinking bigger, thinking broader. But again, to do that, you have to work smarter, not harder, smarter. So find out ways to work really smart. And that's the key to your success and your expansion. And also, no man is an island, so let people help you and bring in those enthusiastic people that loves to communicate, the communicators. You need good communicators. When I did the arrows, when I created the arrows course, I asked for people who are excellent communicators to be drawn to do the course, because I know that when people that are good communicators, when they're good at communicating and they get a lot out of it, when they are doing tarot, then they can do so much good in this world. Because when you get to talk to somebody who's a very good listener, who's good at communicating, who's good at connecting with you. And that's such a healing experience. And that's what I want for people to have. And that is the way I wanted to expand in my business. Now, there is one more, I'm going to do one more reading for a lady, but I have to do that in a separate video and splice them together so it would look a bit different. And that's just because I took a photo of your question, but I didn't think that when I talk on the video I can't see the picture. So, and also there's a few cards, I think you did a Celtic cross, so if I just, what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you the picture and then I'm going to talk about the cards, and then people can also see what the cards are as well. And that's what I'm going to do now. But first I want to show you some beautiful pictures from my walk in the national park. The last card combination we're gonna talk about is the Celtic cross. All these cards here, you know, they speak of, you know, certain things, but you read them together. So you start with the card groups, and the card group that showed up the most is actually Major Arcana cards. A lot of Major Arcana cards speak of things that are a bit out of our control, flow, you know, the scene is being set, and now is a perfect time for you to sort of harness your skill and focusing on what you really want to achieve. The Emperor here is a final outcome card. That's like creating your own empire. In the Seeker's position, Queen of Rods, that's the same as Queen of Wands. That is you, Sandra. That's you now. So you want to have something of your own, something that you've created that you can call your own, so that you can nurture like an enterprise. And if we have a look at the number that showed up the most, you have High Priestess, Justice, and Judgment. They belong in numerology to the number 2. So that's like focusing on your personal relationship. So have a look at the significant other position, 7 of Wands. So that is someone is sharing your idea, sharing your what you want to create, so that you can actually create this together. In the block position is the Empress, and that can mean that maybe you're focusing your energy on too much on nurturing others. So have a look at what the cards are advising you. The High Priestess, that's like that you know what it is that's really important versus what isn't important, and that you have that discernment on who and what is important in your life, that you really know what that is, so that you, instead of spreading yourself too thin, you know, you harness your energy. So you're spending a lot of energy
Of the minor arcana cards that showed up, they were all fire elements, and the Emperor too, final outcome card, that is, you know, another fire element. It's like fire. And when there's a lot of fire, you know, you are very passionate, and people are sort of like drawn to you like a moth to a flame, and you might feel like you want to share this with everybody, and that's all good and everything, but they're just saying you need to just have some boundaries around you right now, because you're actually meant to create and you know your own empire. So when I say empire, then that's like something that you have created, that you can nurture to be, to you know, be huge, like something that can you know support you in life. So it can be a business, an idea, an enterprise, a project that is really supporting you to feel really interested in life. It can there are, you know, it can support you financially as well. At the moment, your routine is not completely set yet because there are no pentacles. But you know, once you get into a good routine, then you are ready to expand. Another number that showed up more than once was the number 7. So you got a Chariot is a 7, and then you have the 7 of rods here as well. And with the 7, you always have to pay attention to, you know, your thoughts, because you're seeking a higher power. So you have to be very self-aware of what you're thinking, because your thoughts are like prayers. And then they're saying that you're asking all the big questions, and you want to have more meaning in your life. And they're saying it's coming, because you get the Judgment card here in the future position, and the Judgment card, you know, it supercharges the reading, and it gives everything extra meaning. You also have Justice here in the recent past positions. That's like justice and judgment. So you're going to have resolution, and you're going to get closure. And then with that, you'll know exactly where you stand. And that's when you're going to sort of take flight, they're saying. And you can see that in 8 of Wands here. Now, with the Magician here in the distant past, I call this a childhood position. That means that, you know, you learn from an early age how to manifest things and how to create and how to communicate really well. And they're saying that, you know, those qualities are actually coming up through you now. That's not something that's sort of in your subconscious. And with all the major arcana cards, the subconscious is sort of taken over a bit, and things seemingly just happens out of your control, but it's actually all happening for a reason. And your guides and angels and every, you know, your spiritual team, they're sort of setting the scene for you, and it's all sort of happening through you on a subconscious level. And this is something that you might have been very aware of in childhood, okay, that you had this ability to create and to be really connected spiritually as well. So those spiritual gifts are now awakening again. And when it comes to the significant other position, if you are single, for example, and this will be a future partner here, but if you're in a relationship, then they're just saying that your partner is, this partner will be part of your spiritual journey and in what you're also trying to create for yourself. That you could call your baby, you know, it's like the enterprise. So you are not alone, you're actually doing this with somebody, and that it makes it extra special. And they're saying to focus on your inner life, your emotions, your spirituality, and tie it all together so that what you're doing will also nurture you from the inside, you know, nurture your inside and makes you feel, you know, that you're alive, basically. That's what they're saying. With the Justice card here, that means that you're putting extra pressure on yourself to make sure that everything is perfect all the time. So you just need to trust that it will all work out. That's your lesson, is trust as well. And that was the webinar this week. So if you have any questions for me, just send me an email. Go to tarotwikipedia.com/contact me, write your question, and I will answer you next webinar. You can also order a reading Just fill in the form in the sidebar on the front, the homepage, and I'll get back to you with the waiting list, and it's usually about 5 working days. And you get a minimum 20-minute reading. So just let me know what it is that you actually want to know about. And so if you want it to be about relationship, just write down that you want to manifest a relationship, or if it's career, let me know that it's about career. So then you get exactly what you're after in the reading. Bye bye for now.